So busy professionals don't need to work harder. They need to work with a structure and a plan. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you how I've been able to maintain fitness consistently for 42 years, right? It's not rocket science. You don't need to work harder. Certainly, if you're watching this video and you're looking for some help with your fitness, your health, your life, or your vitality, there's a simple structure that most busy professionals miss out on. And this is the golden ticket if you wanna have high level success. So let me tell you where most busy professionals are at. Man, they're busy, they're tired, they're overweight, they're lacking energy, and most importantly, they're not where they wanna be with their fitness. Maybe they're thriving with their career, but they're not thriving with their health. And so how can you master the laws of business, but you're lacking in the laws of fitness, right? It's just simple. You haven't given enough attention. All right, so if you want to improve in this one area of your life, I can validate that it works. I've worked with thousands of individuals. Like, check out this individual right here, busy professional. They show up consistently over time. She's a judge. She's had amazing results, lost 72 pounds. Why? Because she made it a point to finally lose the weight once and for all. Now, she probably lost 200 pounds over like 20 years. Gain the weight, lose the weight, gain the weight, lose the weight. Sound familiar? All right, you can have that journey. You're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, or you can get on a structure, a plan, consistency, and never gain the weight back ever again. Now, certainly within 5 pounds or so, but you're maintaining weight because maintenance is 10 times easier than trying to lose weight. At the end of the day, look, this isn't about weight loss. This is about weight management. You can manage weight way easier by taking care of your health consistently. And weight is a byproduct of all the little bitty things that you're gonna do to help you have high level success. So if you wanna have a good functional weight where you have energy, you have high level vitality, and you have a plan to help you get where you wanna be, managing weight is 10 times easier than trying to lose weight. I weighed what I weighed in high school in 1990, guys. I'm telling you right now, at the time of this video, it's exactly the same. And the reason why, I've only gotten better with my habits over time. So if you wanna improve your health, there's only 5 things that you have to do. I'm gonna give them to you right now. Now, there are nuances to these 5 things, but I'm gonna give you all 5. Rest, diet, hydration, exercise, supplements. It's that simple. Those are the 5 things that you have to master. Now, within these 5, I'll break it down subtly. I'm not gonna give you all the details because there's nuances within rest, right? What does that mean? Some people need 6 hours sleep. Some people need 10 hours sleep. You gotta figure that part out. But it's more than just resting, like resting in between workouts or resting in between the day to day. Hey, resting for 20 minutes throughout the day, just, relaxing your mind and just not talking to nobody. I go on a 20, 30, 40, 50 mile bike ride. That's rest to me. Like, I'm resting my mind because I have to talk to people all day long. If you're a busy professional and you're having to do heavy thinking or you're talking or you're constantly moving and you're having to use your brain wears out way before your body will. And so if you want to recharge, what supercharges you? Me? Having some quiet time, that's the area that allows me to get supercharged and be invigorated again. So find that thing where you can tap into, because when you operate in your zone of genius, this is when you ignite your thoughts, your actions, your feelings, and all of a sudden you're popping ideas out left and right. So the first thing is rest yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, wherever you're at with your fitness, your health, your life will grow if you start there. All right, the next thing is diet. All right, most of you know, right, 70% of America is overweight. Why? Because they haven't given it attention to take care of their health. Weight is easy. Think about this. Have you ever gained any body fat? All right, if you're watching this video, have you ever gained any weight? All right, if you haven't, then fantastic. You're part of the 2% that has been healthy. But have you gained any weight at all? Yeah, did you set out a plan to do that? No, you didn't set out a plan. What you did was you didn't pay any attention, and all of a sudden, by default, boom, the byproduct is weight gain. Why? Because you weren't giving good habits the attention so that you can improve your weight management and just managing weight. Managing weight is 10 times easier. But if you want to improve your health, you have to give it some attention and you have to improve your life. And so the way you do that is you just set out a plan. All right, think about this. You'll plan a wedding, you'll plan a vacation, you'll even plan your death. But do you ever plan to be healthy? Nah, man. You just show up and you're just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do it today. No, you can't operate like that. That's just not the way to operate with your health. And so if you want to improve your health, you have to plan to be healthy, right? This isn't on accident. I'm the black sheep of my family. Like, nobody in the genealogy of my family is healthy. But I planned a long time ago to be healthy. The mindset that I had was in the early days when I was 12, 13, 14 years old, I was like, dude, I'm gonna be the fittest I've ever been in my entire life. Now, I wasn't fit at this time. I was chunky, I had little rolls on my stomach, and I could tell you, looking back, when from 16 to 17, there was a pivotal shift. There was a mental shift. And traumatic event happens in life, boom. That set me on a journey. And that journey, during that summer, I lost 22 pounds and grew 6 inches. In the middle of the summer, I decided I was gonna get in the best shape of my life in Houston, Texas, running in the middle of the afternoon in 110 degrees. And I was as dark as this shirt, man. I was like Bro Miro. And I can tell you, hands down, what happened was my shift in my thinking changed because my identity was changing. And that's where you have to change. If you want to improve your health and your life, you might have been overweight your entire life. So you're probably hanging on to, I've been this way my whole life. All right, get over it, man. That's not today, right? So if you want to change, you got to start changing your thinking. Remember, it's 80% psychology and it's 20% mechanics. If you want to improve your health, your life, and your vitality, it starts up here. It starts in your mind. So that's where I would suggest you start reshaping the way you think about who you are, and more importantly, who you want to become in the future. That's how you have an identity shift. You just make a decision that your health is valuable and you're gonna do what it takes. You're not gonna cry about the river of where you started, right? You can't live in the past. You're not here in the future, and all you can do is act right now so that you can create a better and newer future for yourself. That's where you start. All right, so rest, talk nutrition, hydration. It's a no-brainer. Gotta hydrate your body. 76% of your body is water. Put the right stuff in your body in combination, right? There are more nuances to this, but if you do want to find out a little bit more, hey, in the description below, you can check out my masterclass. I break this all down for you. And if you haven't already done so, hey, subscribe to my channel. I'd love an opportunity to continue to keep impacting your life. So what else? Exercise. Hey, I'm standing in the gym for a reason, man. At the end of the day, this is part of it right here. Here's the crazy part. The gym is only 5% of your journey. Right? People think like you gotta work out. Man, you cannot outrun a poor diet. I had a lady the other day, she asked me, she said, oh, can we just do sit-ups? I was like, honey, you need to do 24,000 sit-ups if you wanna lose 1 pound. And I like, you got 40 pounds to lose. We were in the millions. I say, you'll be here a lifetime trying to do sit-ups. You're not gonna outwork bad diet, but you can have a plan to help you with structure and plan. That's what I provide for my clients. If you're not already working with someone in your local area or online, I would suggest find somebody who's 10 times better in an area of their life, especially if this is the area you want to get better at, and have them show you exactly what to do so that you can start mimicking their exact patterns, especially if they have fruit on the tree. That's the key right there. There's a ton of trainers out there. I don't claim to be any of those guys. What I claim to be is unique to myself and show you that I've been consistent for over 42 years of consistency, just doing it day in, day out, day in, day out. I'm in my 50s, guys, and I'm telling you, it works. I get to teach it to random people. Now, I've never lost a pound, but I've had people walk through the door, lose 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 60 pounds, 100 pounds. Random people. Why? Because it's universal, all right? Habits are universal. Whether you're here in China, it doesn't matter, man. At the end of the day, it's a protein, fat, and carb. If you can master those three things and in the right order, in the right pattern, without even changing your culture or the foods that you're eating, I'm telling you, when you start understanding how to use these to add value to your health and your life, you'll start to see you lose weight, you have more energy, you feel better, you improve your life, and most importantly, you start taking charge and control of your life. All right, so rest, diet, hydration, exercise, and supplements is number 5. All right, so this is unique to every single person. What's right for you, whether it's taking extra protein, whether it's some creatine, and it's about timing, right? The before, during, and after workout, right? You gotta time the stuff, right? So that way, when you have the right kind of blueprint that's mapped out for you, your body type, what you do, the kind of activity level you're doing, right? I wouldn't have somebody who's doing a marathon train the same way as somebody's getting ready for like a bodybuilding show. They train completely different. But at the end of the day, you still need the right stuff in your body at the right time. Nutritional timing is crucial. And so making sure you're putting the right stuff in. I'm not saying go buy a whole bunch of supplements. What I am saying is get the foundation right. Get your food right? Hydrate your body, get plenty of rest. And more importantly, at the very end, the icing on the cake, at the very top, it's supplements. You don't start with supplements, all right? I never start people on supplements right out the gate. Number one reason is if you don't got your habits right, all the supplements in the world aren't gonna make a difference. So don't start there. Start with your habits, because you could do more by just shutting your mouth if you're overweight and you're looking to lose weight, or if you wanna improve your mobility, start doing some mobility exercises, or if you wanna build some lean muscle and get stronger in the gym, well, you gotta get into the gym. Start with the little things that you have complete control over. Supplements will add value when you get all those other things right. If you are looking for some help, somewhere in the description below, you can find out all the details about my masterclass, and if that makes sense for you to get started on it, hey, I'd love to impact your life. Just click the link below. I'm Coach Ramiro, the Ageless Play Coach. I'll see you on the next video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe now. Until then, I'll see you on the next video. Take care. See ya.